ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरे प्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णा प्रेम प्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णा चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य तोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थे भिज्यस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदायादिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजतादधोक्षजे आवेश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुके। Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 24, verse number 6. So in the previous class we read that Krishna saw all the cowherd men headed by Srinand Maharaj preparing for some big festival. So he was very curious to know what it is all about, and he approached his father that what is this big preparation you are doing, because in India there are a lot of festivals. If you read Smriti Shastras, practically every day is some festival, some major ones, some small ones. So this seemed like a big one, big preparations. And then he gave some logic why he should know about it, because he said there are certain things which you cannot tell everybody, especially if you want to do some spiritual practice. Generally it is said one should not reveal one's mantra, one's guru, one's spiritual practice. So he thought maybe he doesn't want to tell, so then he explained that I'm not enemy, I'm not also indifferent, I'm your son. So he said, Udasina Arivatu Varje. So he gave some niti. And now what he is going to hear from his father, of course he is still talking. He is going to speak more, which is important. So I just had one question to ask you on this Udasin Arivat Varje. He said that one who is indifferent means who is not your friend, who is not your enemy. So he should be avoided like an enemy, right? Udasin Arivat Varje. So we read in Shastra that Paramatma is also like that, right? Those aparno sahaja sukhaya samanam vriksham parisasva jate tayoreko atti swadu. So swaduvatti anyanana bhiksham chakashiti anasnana bhichakashiti. That two birds sitting on a tree, which is the human body. So one of them is eating fruit, other one is just indifferent, tatastha, just watching, just a witness. Krishna also says there is nobody dear to me, nobody is my enemy. Name dveshasti na priya. So if somebody applies this logic which he said Udasin Arivat Varja, then he should also be avoided. So what would you answer to that?
May I answer it, Babaji?
Of course.
Well, in the 5th chapter in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna at the end says, I am Sudhita, Bhaktaram Ekyatam. So he is also a Sudhita at the same time. And Sudhita is not avoided.
Well, Suhrida is not, but he also says that he is indifferent.
So he is indifferent to some place sometimes, and he is Sudhita to some place.
So when he is indifferent, we should avoid him.
Yeah, but materialists are really doing it, they are not listening to him.
No, not materially or spiritually. This is in knowledge. They are avoiding because they don't know. They don't know that there is Krishna and he is indifferent. They are not avoiding consciously. When he says Udasina Arivat Varja, he is giving an instruction, which means you follow that consciously. Varja means it's an instruction. It's a vidhi. So then, what would you say in this case?
Answer.
Yes.
But Krishna is Udasina, but
Is what?
Krishna is Udasina, but if you approach him, there are two options. One is to avoid him, or one is to approach him. If you approach him, he will never be your enemy. And if you avoid him, he will neither be enemy nor friend.
Well, he says if I give my blessing to somebody, I take away his wealth. Is that enemy or friend? Yasya aham anugranami harisya tadhanam. Okay, fine, get a vote from people. Somebody comes, takes your money, is your friend or enemy? I don't think anyone will go with your proposal.
Okay, I agree.
But he is taking the money away, wealth away for your welfare, ultimately.
Welfare, he says even your relatives will leave you. Tyajanti bandhavadhanam. That
So
when
this is all good for your, on the path of devotion.
This is a way of preaching, obviously. If you like somebody, you don't want to find fault with him. Right? You support. If you belong to one party and your leader is doing something wrong, you don't accept it. You say, no, it's not like that. He's actually trying to do good to you. But I see, I have a pratyaksh praman, he's taking away my wealth, he's even saying it. It's like a plunderer. Somebody comes and plunders your money and he says, I'm doing good to you because you are having a lot of trouble with this money. When you will become a beggar, you will become very humble. And you will become devoted. You will become devoted to God.
It's anugraha. So what is the meaning of anugraha here? Yasyaham anugrinami. So I am doing this anugraha.
That's what I am saying. That how you call this anugraha?
Well, he is calling it.
He is not anugraha, he is only graha. He is taking away,
Yes.
Anugraha means taking away after somebody. Right? Anugranati means takes. Anugranati means he takes after someone.
But he takes what belongs to him.
It belongs to him. Then why he has to take? If something belongs to me, do I take it? It's already mine, These books are here in my library, I don't take them to my room. Well, these are mine, I take them to my room. I'm taking them away because they're mine. They're mine, they're here. What's the problem? Okay.
I want to bore myself here as
Clear, state.
yes.
No rambling.
Yeah. So one thing is the impartiality. He is impartial with the living entity, indifferent to the pain of the suffering of the living entity, and at the same time there are some statements that establish him as the well-wisher or friend of everyone. So there is a difference between impartiality and indifference. Even if indifference have some impartiality there, impartiality means that he have the equal disposition, which is neutral, but equal disposition to the living entity. But indifference means that he don't have any posture there. Is not interested on have this. So even if we can say that there is some indifference there, can call like indifference, he's just have the same disposition. So whomever who approach to him with one relationship or desire, he correspond to that according to the bhav or to the feeling to the person who comes to him. Even the enemies desire to have enmity with him, he correspond to that. So it's more on the hand of
And that's what people do in general anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the big deal about it? I mean, if somebody wants to be a friend, you become friend. If somebody wants to be an enemy, you also become strict with him.
Yeah.
So what is the big deal? But if you are indifferent, you stay indifferent. If they are indifferent.
Yeah, from the perspective of impartiality, because people are not impartial because they have attachments, but he don't.
We are not talking about those people.
Mm-hmm.
We are talking about somebody who is impartial. Harivat Varja, Udasin.
Mm-hmm.
Udasin means impartial.
Impartial. Mm-hmm. So, yes.
Udasin means who is above. I explained in my class, who is sitting above.
Mm-hmm.
Means he neither has raga with you nor dvesha.
Exactly.
That's impartial.
So it means he is beyond guna, so he is beyond this
Not
type
necessarily beyond guna. Just
No,
neutral.
him. Yeah, in that sense, impartiality applied to him is that he is beyond these gunas. So we cannot say that he is indifferent and can be abandoned.
We cannot say it, but he himself is saying, Baba, why you don't understand? You are saying we cannot say. Yeah, you are devotee, you cannot say it, because he says that I'm partial to my devotee, so you cannot say it. As he is partial to you, you are being partial to him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking from impartial point of view.
Yeah, and
I already said that if you are fan of somebody, you don't want to see any flaw in that person. That's what you are trying to do.
Yeah, in that sense, your question was if he is indifferent in that sense, which is more like impartial, which is different from indifference, why he cannot be abandoned, like the other people who are indifferent. But the people are trapped by attachment, raga and dvesha. So when they became indifferent, they have the possibility to become an enemy. But in the case of Krishna, which is beyond, like Udasini, he is impartial, in the moment that our bhav change,
he also becomes enemy. I mean, he was trying to kill Jarasandha, who is a very religious person.
But he always give the supreme good to all of them. For example, Putana was trying to harm him, and we can say that both have an enmity relationship.
After killing, who knows what happens? After killing, nobody knows what happens.
But we know by Shastra.
Since he was living, there's nothing. He killed.
Yeah.
And how cruelly he got killed, Jarasandha. He got him torn apart in 2 pieces. If you think like this, you can shiver. You'll get a chill in your spine.
Yeah, but from the from my perspective, he cannot be abandoned like a common person, which is indifferent, because even when he behaved like that,
he can be abandoned.
No, he cannot be abandoned. I mean, is not like cannot, but wouldn't be abandoned, because when he shows this enmity relationship, actually he is doing a good and satisfying even the desire of that enemy who want to fight. When an enemy wants fight and you give fight, he's actually pleasing them.
We are not talking about enemy or friend. We are talking about somebody who is indifferent.
But the problem of indifference radicates.
That means he also becomes enemy.
Exactly, and this is why the impartial people have to be abandoned, because they can become your enemy.
So therefore he also becomes enemy, so he also has to be abandoned, you yourself are saying.
But even in the position of enmity, is doing welfare to you. And that is the difference between...
That's your view.
Well, that is what is Shastra telling when...
Okay, tell me where it is said. Give me some sloka.
Simple. When Putana was when he kills, when he kills all these different demons, and we were talking about Agasura, for example. Everybody saw what happened with him and what was the destiny that he reached. So in that sense, it's not
that he made sure that this guy doesn't create trouble in future.
Exactly, but at the same time,
for him, you see, if you kill somebody, then he will be your enemy again in your next life. That's how karma works. So what he does is, he says, okay, come and merge in me. So but now you have no chance to be an enemy. This is his cleverness,
Exactly.
That's what he's doing. And you are saying this is his grace, this is this. No, he just makes sure that the guy doesn't trouble him anymore.
Yeah, and somehow it can be seen like that, but actually
that's how the fans will talk. But the real thing is that, because it's a fact, if you die somebody thinking of an enemy, next birth yam vapi smaran bhavam tyaste ante kalevaram, then you will be born again as an enemy. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't give them chance to be born. Right? That's what moksha is. No birth again. Because if they take birth, then again problem he will create.
Yeah. And even with that is a destiny that even sadhus are trying to reach. So
no, sadhus are not trying to reach that.
No, I mean sadhus, some kind of sadhus and
kind of sadhus is trying that.
Some kind of gyanis are trying to search moksha, and when demon receive it just by trying to kill him, so is that a good?
You have to see the intention.
Outcome. Yeah.
His intention is that this guy should not create trouble for me.
And ultimately do a good will for him.
Okay, thank you. Who is speaking? I don't know. Oh,
Malati.
Thank you. Malati is alive.
I don't know what my praise were now, but just simply because it's Paramatma. So the whole and never enemy to part, even though he says that this day it's not working against it. And so part of the body will not become enemy of the rest.
I did not get the whole sentence. I think your internet is not good. Your voice is breaking.
Because Jiva is part of Paramatma.
Yes.
Therefore, part is not enemy to.
Yeah. You see, just remember in the commentaries itself, in the commentator himself said it. if you remember the last class, commentator himself made a distinction that there are two types of people. There are, he called them as Udasina and Tatastha. And he says there are one type. He says, Yo vipaksha shruitpaksha sa tatastho nigadyate iti ujjal nilmano tallakshanam drishnam yastu udasino narina tulyo napi shruhitulya satu na varjyo napi upadeya swakrityeshu atiyata eva sanottankita. So he says there are two types of them. That there is one who is not going to take sides with anybody. He is actually indifferent, or he is actually tatastha, impartial, whatever he says. And then there is another type who can turn into your enemy. I even gave the example that before Kurukshetra war happened, then Pandavas, Duryodhana, they went to so many people. There are many people who were just indifferent. They were not involved in this family fight, But when they went to them, Duryodhana went to them, then they joined Duryodhana. So although they were indifferent before, but they joined Duryodhana and became enemies. So these are the type of people you have to avoid. But Krishna is not like that. As in the beginning Purushottam Prabhu said, of course I am just playing a devil's, what you call, advocate, so I have to give my arguments. So he is never going to do any harm to anybody. When he says that I am equal to all, samoham sarvbhutesu na me dveshosthi na priya, means if you do not want to take interest in spiritual life and you want to enjoy materially, I will not interfere. Then according to your action, your decision, your karma, you suffer or enjoy, that's your business, and I will give you all the facility. That's what he means there. But if you become my devotee, then I will help you. So therefore he is not the type which commentator said should be avoided. And the other one is that which should not be avoided, and he said that is now tankita, that is not spoken in this verse. So he is making distinction. So Krishna, of course, is none of this. When he says he is indifferent, means he does not create any disturbance to you if you want to be in the material world. Then you are responsible for your karma. And don't blame him for that, as people have a tendency to blame. If there is God, why so many people are suffering? So many people are suffering because they are doing act for suffering. It's not God is sending suffering to them. If all of them want to live with love and affection, you think God will come and say, no, I don't like this. You should fight with each other. No, he will be happy. He comes, dharma sansthapanartha sambhavami yuge yuge, paritranaya sadhunam vinashacha duskritam. He comes. When things go beyond control, then he does not just remain impartial or indifferent, he participates. Of course, he comes because of the request of his devotees, as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came on the request of Advaita Acharya. Krishna came on the request of Brahma and Mother Earth. So therefore, he is not that kind of those two categories, he is different. Anyway, that was just little fun sake, just to wake up your muscles, logical muscles. Okay, let's read now. So, sloka number 6. Jnatva jnatva cha karmani janoyam manutishthati vidushaha karma siddhi syat yatha na vidusho bhavet. So this is still Krishna speaking to his father. He says that there are two types of people. There are some people who perform action, and especially he is talking about these religious actions, religious rituals. After knowing it, means how it is to be done and for what purpose it is to be done. Right? And then there are others who also just follow without understanding. And most people are in this category. Most people are saying there are so many people doing parikrama, Vrindavan parikrama, Govardhan parikrama. So you ask them, why are you doing parikrama? Sometimes people do parikrama, then they come to me, they ask, what is the benefit of doing parikrama? Isn't it strange? I said, I'm not doing it, you are doing it, you should know. Why are you doing it? So why are they doing it? Because they see so many people doing it. So that is just agyatva, not knowing, but just because many people are doing, so they think it must be good. People assume like that, because this is democratic mind, that if many people are doing it, then this must be right. That's how people get influenced. So that's what he says, that jnatva cha karmani jano ayam anutishtati. That ayam jana means these people. He's probably referring to the cowherd people right there. He says they do their anushthan. Their anushthan means religious act, after knowing or without knowing. Although in Bhagavad Gita, what does Krishna say? Jnatva shastra vidhanoktam karya karma kartum eharasi. Tashmat shastram pramanam te karya vyavasthito. That what you have to do and what you should avoid, for that only shastra is pramana. Because you are doing something which is not giving any result immediately, and you think it will give some result later on. So how do you know that it will give some good result later on? So in that only Shastra is the authority, nothing else. So therefore there he says very clearly, Gyatva Shastra Vidhanoktam. That knowing the Vidhan, the injunction of Shastra, then you should do it. But if you don't know that, and ya Shastra Vidhi Mutsrijya Vartate Kamakarata, but you don't follow the Shastrik Vidhi, and you just do because you do it, you like it, it's your fancy to do it, everybody is doing it, so let me also do it. Otherwise people will say, oh, you don't do parikrama. So then you will feel like inferior, and people don't want to feel inferior. They don't want to feel like left out from the group. We want to be part of the herd, so feel safe that way. Otherwise you are singled out, you don't get support from others, problems come. So that's why we say that human beings are social people. So therefore you want to be social with others. Just because they are doing it, so I do. You may not even like to do it, but still you do it. So then Krishna says, yeah, you can do it, but then you will only get the social benefit for that. Don't expect something spiritual or afterlife benefit. So when you do, and many people do religious activities only for that, so then they only get the social benefit, whatever that may be. You may be having a name from others. He is doing parikrama every day. He is doing morning, evening parikrama. He goes to Bihariji every day or whatever some, and people respect you for that. So he says that vidushaha karma siddhi syat yatha na vidusho bhavet. But those who are learned, those who understand, and then they perform action, then he says karma siddhi syat. Then you will have perfection in that. Means you will achieve what you want to achieve for what you have done it. And yatha na vidusha. But if you do not know, if you are avidusha, if you are ignorant about it, then you will not get it. It's very simple. So that's why there are two ways of doing things, proper way and improper way. So proper way will give you proper result, improper way will give you improper result. So as simple as that. So that's what he's saying. So he says, Kincha buddhi mad antaranga janena saha vicharya yatva eva karma kartavyam natu gatanugatik nyayane tya jantva iti. So Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti says that one should first consult those who are learned. Buddhimat means learned people. Who are antaranga. They are learned and they are also intimate with you. Means they are not going to advise you. There are people who are learned, but if they don't like you, they are enemy, they may give you wrong advice. So therefore, antaranga janena saha vicharya, after talking to them, deliberating, learning, then you should perform karma. Karma, kartavyam. So karma means that particular action, kartavyam, should be done. Natu gatanugatik nyayana. So there is called gatanugatik nyaya. Gatanugatik nyaya means same, but it's called herd mentality, or what to call that, following the like a sheep. So sheep, there is one in front and then everybody follows that. So gata, there is sloka like that. Gatanugatiko loka, na loka paramarthika. So Ganga Sakatalingena nashtam tamra bhajanam. So he says that people in general, they are gatanugatika. That they just follow others. So if you are following a person who is wise, learned and who has good intentions, that is good. As Krishna says, yadad acharti shrestha tattad itarajana. So itarajana means other people, means most people, they are followers. There are one or two among many who are like leaders. Means they take action, they are original thinkers. Original in the sense means they are not just following the crowd. So, but most people are like that. It says, na loka paramarthika. That generally people are not paramarthika, means they don't think of what is the artha coming out of this, what is paramartha coming out of it. So, and especially in this age of internet, it is more like that. So, Ganga Sakatlingena nashtam tamra bhajanam. So this is referring to a story that one man, he went to take bath in Ganga river. And taking bath, then he wants to bring some water. Previously people used to drink water from the rivers and especially Ganga river. So he had a copper pot. Maybe he's Brahmana, he will take a bath and do his japa, gayatri, etc. Then he will bring water for puja. So what he did, that he put his pot on the bank of the river, and to make sure that his pot, he can recognize it, so he made some kind of, like a mark around it with saikat. Saikat means the sand. So he made like a little platform from sand and put the pot on it so that he knows this is my pot. Because the other people who are coming or who come also to take water, because in the olden days there was no tap water. So then he went into the river, he took bath, he chanted his Gayatri. In the meantime, many other people came. So they saw that this guy has put this pot on this little platform. So they thought, this must be something religious. So the second guy came, he also did it like that. Then the third one came, he also did it like that. By the time he came out of the river, there are 50 pots lying there. So now he doesn't know which one is his pot. So he lost his pot because he was afraid, if I take this, then somebody will say, don't take my pot. So he says, Nashtam Tamra Bhajanam. He lost his copper pot because of Gatanugatik Nyaya. Because everybody just followed him like that. So this is what he is calling as Gatanugatik Nyaya. This is the principle of herd mentality. So everybody is doing, So in spiritual life you see it all the time. Somebody is doing some way, then another one also start doing it, then another one also start doing it. So gyatva avachay karmani drishta adrishta phalani krishyadi yagani. So he says that this knowing and unknowing, there are two types of results which come from it. One is visible, drishta, another is adrishta, and he gives two examples. He says just like if you do farming, so your result is visible. You grow the crop and whatever has to happen, you will know it in this life, not that you do farming and next life you are going to get the result. And if you do some yajna, yaga, then result is adrishta. It's only in the future. So at least in case of drishta, it is easy to figure out whether you made a mistake or not. Because if your crop is not happening the way you expected, then you know that you didn't do it well. But problem comes when the result is adrishta. It comes in next life. Then you don't know whether it will come, not come, and you just believe it. So therefore he says that this is how people are. So then Krishna says, Tatra tavat kriya yogo bhavatam kim vicharitaha athva laukikastan me prichita sadhu bhanyatam. So he says, please, O Father, tell me that this kriya yoga means this big action which you are taking here. So are you doing it with proper deliberation, consulting those who know the Shastra, or it is just laukika, social thing, because everybody, other loka, other people are doing it, so I also do it. Or because it's just a custom, it's also called lokachar. There are many things which are just customary. People follow certain festivals, certain utsavas, some vrata, fasting. Then it has been followed for centuries and people actually may have forgotten why we are doing it, but just becomes a custom. So are you doing it like that? Or it is actually based on Shastric understanding? That's it. So he says, Tanme prichataha sadhu bhannitam. So please, you explain to me, because I want to know it. So properly I want to know what is it. Sadhu bhannitam means tell me properly. So vicharya jyatva eva kriyate chet adayataha tatra karmasu madhye kriya yoge bhavtam api adrishtphalam evam kim shastra prapratvena vicharita athva laukika lokachar praptatva. So then he says that okay, if you have, let's assume that you are doing it after knowing. So then I want to know that in this karma which you are doing, is it you are looking for some adrishta phala which is coming from the Shastra praptatvena vicharita, and you know that what we are going to do is prescribed in the Shastra, and if you do it like this then you will get this result? Or is it just a laukika, means you are following a social custom, lokachar? So may I know that? So now Nanda Maharaj, he replies. So he says, Nanda said, Parjanyo Bhagavan Indro Meghastasyatma Murtayaha Tebhi Varshanti Bhutanam Prinanam Jivanam Payaha. So he said, Nanda Maharaj said that Lord Indra, he is called Parjanya. So Parjanya means who brings rain. So Meghastasya Atma Murtaya. And the clouds are like his own manifestation or his own energy, you can say Atma Murti. And te abhivarshanti bhutanam prinanam jivanam paya. And these clouds, they shower rain, which is very pleasing and satisfactory to living beings, because water is life. Jivanam paya. So water is also called paya. Paya also means milk. And water is also called jivanam, which also means life. But here jivanam means life and paya means water. So life is dependent on water, and water is given by him. And because of water, the food comes, as in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Jannat bhavanti bhutani parjanyadanna sambhava. So everybody sustains on food, and food comes from rain. If rain is not there, then no food. Or if there is too much rain, like now there are floods in some parts of India and Pakistan. So that also destroys. So too little rain or too much rain, both. So when it says Parjanyadanna Sambhava means proper rain, coming at time, so that it nourishes the crop, and then living beings survive on that. So te bhi varshanti, and this rain comes because of Indra. So therefore, we are going to worship him with this. So lokachar prapte viti sopattikamaha parjanyati. So Nanda Maharaj says that what we are going to do is a social custom, and this is also based on some logic. And the logic he is giving here. That Indra, of course, that part that Indra is Lord of Rain, that is coming from Shastra. Because this is not known by social custom. There is no way to know that Indra is in charge of rain or clouds. So Prinanam Santarpakam. So Prinanam means Santarpakam, means which brings nourishment or satisfaction. Jivanam mit prayani api trinadini jivyati. So it gives life even those who are almost dead. Like in the summer, before rains come, there is a heavy summer, and even the grass almost dies. But when the rain comes, then everything becomes green, and then animals live on that. So tam tata vayam manye chavar mucham patimishwaram dravyais tadretasha siddhrai yajante kratubhirnara. So he says, my dear boy, so we think that this Varmucha means Indra or cloud, therefore he is called Varmuchampati. So he is the Lord of the clouds. So we are going to worship him by the very things which have come from rain. Dravyais tadretsa siddhair. So articles which are product of rains, by those articles we will worship him by doing this yajna, because people worship him by yajna. So this is what Krishna again, basically what Nanda Maharaj is saying, Krishna himself has said this in Bhagavad Gita 3rd chapter. Sahajya praja srishva puravacha prajapati anena prasvadham mesu vastu ishta kamadhuk. So devan bhaveta anena te deva bhaventu parasparam bhaventa shreya param avapsata. He himself has instructed like that his Prajapati has created this yajna to satisfy the devas, so please the devas with this, and then devas will please you. So Deva is sending rain in, and then with that grains come, and with those grains you please him. That's the cycle. Evam pravartitam chakram. See, I have set up this cycle like that, so then life can continue. So tata iti salalan sambandhan sambodhanena tadrish pujya devatanam eva anugrahena etavad gunvan tvam putra prapto api atastata puja pratyakyanam tvaya subham yu na kartavyam iti dutita. So he is calling him as Tata. So Tata is an interesting word. Tata is also used for father. Sometimes Krishna is calling Nanda Maharaj as Tata. Tata is also used for son here. So it used both ways. It basically means one who is very dear. Like you said dear, so you can say dear to your son, you can also say to somebody else. So he says Salalan Sambodhanena. So he is addressing him very affectionately. Oh my dear, like that. So what is the implication of this according to Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur? The implication is that it is by the grace of these devatas that I have got you as my son. Because he did not have a son for a long time. So he says, Tadrish Pujya Devata Nam Eva Nugrahena. He says, only by the grace of such devas like Indra, I have got a very wonderful son like you who has such wonderful qualities. And therefore, you who are so nice, please do not try to refute this puja for the devas. That's why because he is also Krishna's father, so he also knows his mood, where he is getting at. Suddenly he is becoming very scholarly and starting to ask. So he says something he is going to speak. So he says like that. Vastutastu tadyagye kartritva abhimano api nochita ityaha tadaretasya. But in reality, he says that it is not even proper for us to say that we are going to do this yajna, because then it seems like we are being proud as doer of yajna. So therefore he says tadaretsa siddhair dravya, that we are going to worship him by the very things which he has given us. So in a way he says that it is he who is giving us all these different grains, etc. And therefore we give some back to him as a token of gratitude. That's the meaning of Dravais Tadaretasa. Tatsheshena upjivanti trivarga falhetave pumsham puruskaranam parjanya falabhavanaha. So he says that those people who want proper results of dharma, artha and kama, so they get it by living on the remnants of yajna. So again Krishna says, yajna sastasino santa muchyante sarvakil visai. That those who survive on the remnants of yajna, and they are called santa. They become free from all the kilvisa, all the sins. And one who cooks only for one's own self, so bhunjate tu agham papa e pachanti atma karanat. And then they verily eat sin. Means if they don't make any offering, then bhunjate te agham papa. They eat only sins. So he is also speaking similarly here that so we're eating yajna, that is called amrita. What is remnant of yajna? That is amrita, that is nectar. So it's like devotees, they eat prasad. So that is considered as very spiritual, nourishing and grace of Krishna. That's why called prasad. So here speaking from the karma point of view. So then your endeavors of dharma, artha and kama will be successful. Means it will be you are maintaining dharma. As Krishna says, evam pravartitam chakram, I have set up this cycle that you do yajna, then devas are pleased, then you get what you want. So that's what dharma means, because dharma means that which sustains you. So therefore dharma, artha, and then from dharma will come artha. Because devas are pleased. So then you will have objects for your survival, for your living good life, and kama can satisfy your senses. So that is called trivarga, dharma, artha, kama. And pumsam purushkaranam parjanya hai phal bhavana. So he says that this parjanya also means Indra. also means rain, both. The word is used for both. So he says that it is, Parjanya was also Nanda Maharaj's father's name. His father's name was also Parjanya. So he says that he is the giver of the results of our effort, Puruskar. So in our life there are two things. One is what we call as Daiva or fate. So that is outcome of our past actions. Another is what we call as Puruskar, means our effort at present. Because it's not that we just live on the fate only, Daiva only. We also make effort now. So Krishna gives 5 ka jo adhishthanam tatha karta karanam cha prathak vidam vividhascha prathak chesta. So there is called chesta and daivam. Daivam cha atra panchamam. So there is chesta or effort now, and then there is daiva from the past. So the result of puruskara comes, he says, because of the Parjanya. So tatsheshena tad yajya avsishtena nena upjivanti jivikam upkalpayanti. So he says that people, they have their sustenance of life on the basis of remnants of the yajna. Because if food is not there, then you may say, well, somebody is working in the office, he is an IT engineer, so what he has to do with rain? Right? Some people give this logic, So how do you say that it is because of rain he is living? No, but he also needs to eat. If food is not there, then he can have money with him, cannot eat the money. He has to go and do shopping. And if food is not there, how he will serve? How he will survive, and then how will he do act? So therefore everybody needs this. People may not see it, but directly or indirectly everybody lives because of this. Nad bhavanti bhutani, as Krishna says. So nacha jivikapi yatheshta vishya bhogartham ityah. So therefore the life is, or means of sustenance of life are not just for enjoyment. Because then he says, Krishna says, mogham parthasa jivati. Right? Says, evam pravartitam chakram nanu vartati hai. So chakra. But one who is only enjoying, then he is living in vain. Because he is going to suffer. So this is very important. People say God is sending suffering. God is not sending suffering. If we don't give tax, then you will be caught by the IT department. If you don't pay your bills, then they will cut your electricity, water, gas, everything. Then you will suffer. Then you will say, oh, this government is making me suffer. You can say like that, right? It seems right. Because, well, why are they cutting my electricity? No, but they are cutting because you are not paying. So that's what it means. So therefore there has to be dharma also along with it. Dharma, the dharmic act, or what you call as karma here, means paying your tax. And then you can have your artha and kama, no problem. And we are not saying that you should become devotee, this, that. But even if you want to live here, this is the way to live. Even if you don't want to take to spiritual life, you want to live peaceful life, right? No one will say, I don't want to live peaceful life. So this is follow dharma. If you don't follow dharma, then there is no peace. Because then there is adharma. And adharma means you will not be sustained. Simple. It's like if you don't pay your bill, that is adharma. Then it will not be sustained. Then you have to suffer. So therefore it says, nacha jivikapi yatheshta vishya bhogartham. He says, therefore, life is not meant just to enjoy as you like. Kamasya na indriya priti labho jiveta yavata jivasya tatu jigyasa. So, nacha artho hiya karma bhi. So, jivasya tattva jigyasa. The purpose of life is not indriya priti, that I am just going to do indriya priti and live like that. So, that's what he's saying. So, Purushkaranam trivargartham artham uddyamanam phalam yat trivarga eva tasya bhavana sadhaka. So, the endeavor which you are making to get trivarga, dharma, artha, kama and moksha, so that will happen by the grace of him, the Parjanya. Parjanyad vrishti, vrishter annam, annad jivika, jivikata dharma, dharmad udyama ityartha. So he says, by rain, by Indra will come rain. From rain will come food. Because of food you can live. And because you are living, then you can perform dharma. And because of dharma, then you can perform your udyama, mean your effort for artha and kama. And this way the cycle will continue. Yato vastuta parjanya eva trivarge mool hetur ata parjanya eva ijyata iti bhava. So therefore he says that among the trivarga, among the dharma, artha and kama, it is parjanya only which is the mool hetu or the root cause. That's what Nanda Maharaj is explaining, that without rain or without Indra there is no rain, then there is no grain. Without grain, no brain. So that's how it goes. So if you want brain to function, you need grain, and grain comes from rain. And Indra is the boss of rain. So you better do yajna for that. So that's the logic he has given. So we'll stop here. He speaks one more sloka, and then you will see how Krishna will give his logical arguments to refute him. It's so amazing that he will refute him. He's speaking on dharma and Krishna says, no.
Bhagavatam Maharaj.
Yeah.
And doubt on the karma theory that opportunity of results. But in today's context, I think just not a result whether it is coming one way or
Your voice is not clear.
I'll just switch my video and then see if it comes to. So what I was asking is that as per karma theory, if you want a good result, you have to do good action. If you do improper action, you will get improper result. But in today's context, people just want the result.
People what?
Want the result, Babaji.
Yeah.
So like I want to get rich.
Yeah.
So I can do by smoking also, but it's not a proper action. Then I can drive the politician, I can drive. So I am doing improper action, but result is coming. How to understand this?
You are doing proper action and the result is not coming?
No, I am doing improper action, Bhakti.
Yeah.
But I am getting my desired result.
Yeah. And you are also
understand.
So you will also get undesired result. What is there to understand in that? You are getting desired result and you will also get undesired result.
Like what we see that these people are never like this smuggler. prawns and all are never caught and all actions are handled.
So you can think they are not caught now. First of all, that's not true. Sooner or later they also get caught, and they also have a lot of worries and anxieties. It's not necessary that they have to get caught by police. Even otherwise their life is not happy, which is unwanted result of that action. They live in fear. They try to escape. So that is one unwanted result, that living in anxiety and stress. Second is that this is not the only life. You also have to think, if you are talking about karma, then karma is not just that everything happens only in one lifetime. They will also suffer in future for that. They are creating bad samskaras. That is one side effect which is not wanted. And they will also get to bad situation in future. So the judgment takes some time. Even in the court, judgment does not happen immediately. If you kill somebody today, you are not going to hang tomorrow.
Okay. Another doubt was like in the Shastra we read it, karma leads to karma. So in today's context, where can we skip karma?
I don't know, your voice is breaking. So I hear one word and then I don't hear the next one.
I was just asking Bhagavati, like in today's context, see that karma is karma. Because if you do karma, you will get artha.
So what is the question?
Question is, like we read in the Shastra, that dharma gives artha. People may not be doing dharma.
Yeah, but it's not saying that artha comes only from dharma. And even those who are doing karma, they are following some dharmic principle or not? If you are working in a job, right?
Okay.
So now are you not doing what you are told to do?
Yes.
Now try not to do that and let me see how the artha will come. So that is your dharma. You have a job, somebody has employed you and they are going to pay you, but you have to do this much work, this many hours per day, right? So now don't do this and let me see artha coming.
Okay. So in one way, can we say
Karma is also dharma. If you do your prescribed action, that is also dharma. Dharma is not just doing yajna. It's like Krishna is telling Arjuna to fight. He says, this is your dharma. So is that doing yajna or what? He has to fight. So you have your dharma as a job. You have your job, you have employed. So that's your dharma. You have to do it properly. That's why you get paid for that. Anything else? Okay.